Buongiorno. And ciao. I think it's evolved over time because of being an actor, and certainly, when you develop a character, the clothing is a big statement. And I remember when I was doing Can't Buy Me Love, I went and shopped for all of the clothes for the character. And that's when it started kind of. And then when you go to premieres, you do photo shoots, it starts to evolve. And then it starts to refine over time. And certainly coming from Italy, there's always such great designs. Yeah, it was great. It was the best investment I ever made. Certainly aspirational dreams like that. Yeah, there's certain designs that you like and certain companies that evoke aspirational desires that you want to realize. And certainly with Porsche is one that's really it's a little bit more attainable than, say, a Lamborghini or the supercars that are so outrageous. It is accessible in some respects, but yeah, there are certain things that I like: handmade, quality, iconic, timeless design. I try to stay in touch with that all the time because you don't want to forget where you come from. And I think that's one of the best pieces of advice I received as a just starting out is don't forget where you come from. And I think it's always important for us to remember. Yes. It was my dad had a pickup truck. It was a 66 red Chevy. The gear was on a column shift, and I was allowed to do the dump runs. It was like a dirt road that was about 2 miles long, and I could drive the pickup as fast as I want and let it drift, and then also out in the field. My father would allow me to do that. And ironically enough, I allowed my daughter to do that at our place in Maine, and that's how she learned how to drive as well. Not in that car, but giving her that experience on country roads and let her bomb around in the field. And it was a good way to learn how to drive. I've always liked car racing since I was a little kid. My dad was really into racing. He was a team owner when he was a young man, and I sort of fell into it with him. We'd watch the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, all those type of iconic races. I remember watching with him, and that's when it started. Well, at first, it was the first time in many years, I'd say about 10 years, where I wasn't traveling all the time. So I just was really happy to be at home. We all had the anxiety of what's going to happen, and certainly what was going on here politically and all that turmoil. It was just nice to be at home with the family, and to be, just united in that way. And now we're starting to open up. And certainly coming back from Rome, there's so much still to overcome there. And I just hope that, the vaccines get to the European countries. We're very fortunate here. Things are starting to open up because people are getting vaccinated, but it's not reaching these countries and certainly other countries around the world. We need to get vaccination out to those people because it's just devastating the economy, and it's devastating people's lives and families. I think it's the love from your family, and that's your core, and that's the most important thing to work on. And I just got back from Rome, where I was working for 6 weeks, and it was such an odyssey to get home and to have their support with the jet lag and the love and the cuddles and the hugs and all of that that's what it's really about, more than anything else, I think. That's so part of your life in Italy, and part of the tradition is seeing the families together, and also the physical contact. And because of COVID, it's forced us to separate, and that's really a shame, because you need that human contact. I felt really safe in Italy. We were tested every other day. We had good quality control. We had people around making sure that we were sanitizing our hands. Everyone had their masks on. We didn't have any issues while I were there. When I was shooting, no one tested positive. We had one false positive at that, but because we followed the letter of the law and the procedures, we were safe. And I felt very comfortable. it was only when we started going to the center of Rome and we had more people coming around that I felt a little bit of anxiety, but people really followed procedure and made it possible for us to work in a way that was healthy and sustainable. And I miss everybody already. I had such a great experience in Rome, in the crews, and how hard they were working. And Alessandro is so fun to work with. I really love him. He's a great partner to work with, and he's a good soul. Yeah, I hope to return to Rome and work again, and just finish season 2 of Devils, and that was a great experience. It feels like a home now because I've spent so much time and I've done so much work in Rome. So I'm always open to going back and working. I love being in Europe and particularly being in Italy and the passion that's there and the warmth and the people. The driving is complete insanity on the streets, and I enjoy it. I love all aspects. Oh, for your emotional well-being, I think it's really important. Your mental health, you have to exercise without question. And I actually thought about this a lot, with the jet lag. I need to work on my conditioning and my health and my just activities as well to amp up my cycling and running and yoga and weightlifting, things like that. I can do a better job on that. So it's been very tough to stay motivated in COVID. Like all of us are struggling, and you can't get to a gym or you can't work out with people, and that motivation helps you, if you have a partner to work out with and your trainers and things like that. So that's something I need to work on, and I know it will help me feel better psychologically. I think you're always insecure. You always think your job, the job you just finished may be your last. You may never have another opportunity. It gets better with experience and age. But it is, you're being judged on who you are. It's not like a product that you're putting out there. It's yourself and your soul. And, it's really hard to balance the criticism in a way where you can take it in a constructive manner. And you're vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable in order for people to come into you and you go into them. Yes, I think certainly on screen and in life, you have to be compassionate and open and empathetic. Oh, I think all of those things, and being able to be consistent with them and maintain them in a way, and also having time for myself to replenish so that I can give back. So it's always a balancing act. And balance is very hard. There's always something that's being sacrificed to be able to do something. Like I was fully committed to Devils in Rome, and a lot of things were put to the side. So now I have to kind of come back and get realigned with all those other things that you'd mentioned. But you have to focus 100% on one thing at a time, and that's the challenge, is how you can manage your time and your energy.